Hi guys, this is Andree. So welcome to my first of two restorative class. This one is, we're going to consider a spine extension. So everything we're going to do is to lengthen the spine. You're going to need a blanket. You're going to need a block. And that's it for today. A blanket and a block. If you had a bolster, that would be nice as well. But if you don't, I'll show you how we use the props. Okay, so we're going to begin in child's pose. Breathing in, breathing out. Keep lengthening the arms forward. Opening the side body. Feeling the skin stretching over the ribs. Now when we do restorative, we hold the process a little longer, and our mind becomes more in tune with what is happening in the body. So we direct our awareness to what is happening, not only in our head, but what is happening in our body. Now let's come to your hands and knees, tuck your toes under, come to downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here in this pose. Pressing the center of your hands from the fingertips all the way to the heel of the palms. So you can gently begin to explore your flexibility this morning. So it is not necessary to force the pose. So those of you who cannot do downward facing dog because it bothers your wrist, you can definitely do this pose on your forearms to protect the wrist. Here, come to your knees, press child's pose. Let your breath flow. Observing the effect of the inhale on the rib cage. Observing the release you may feel as you exhale. And now inhaling, coming back to your hands and knees and pressing to downward facing dog again, or your modified dog pose. Bringing your awareness to the legs, opening the back of the legs, dropping the heels toward the floor. Continue to extend the arms, pressing the hands firmly into the mat. And now come to your knees again, stretching to child's pose. Keep the arms extended, don't go into a rounded back. Feel the breath maybe feels different after you move a little bit. So just keep observing, come to your hands and knees, keep observing this subtle sensation that keep changing. Downward facing dog. See, can you receive the pose a little deeper? And come back to child's pose. And now let's move to our hands and knees. So we try to stack the wrist in alignment with the shoulders and the knees in direct alignment with the hips. You're going to take an inhale and shift a little bit forward, extending the spine. You can bend your elbows a little bit, you're shifting forward. And then exhaling, begin to round the spine, pressing to child's pose. Now you're not going to stay there, we're flowing. You're going to inhale, coming back to your hands and knees. As you take your next inhale, extend the spine, bend the elbows, shift forward. And then exhale, round your back, pressing your sitting bones to your heels. Let's come up again to your hands and knees. Breathing here. With your next inhale, extend the spine. Rotate the triceps in if I didn't tell you to do that before. And stretch forward. And then stretch back. Let's do that again. Inhale here. You're going to exhale. Bend the elbows. Inhale, pushing back up. Exhaling, stretching back to child's pose. Inhaling to your hands and knees. Exhaling, bending the elbows. Inhaling, coming back up to modified plank. Exhaling. Let's do that one more time. Inhaling to your hands and knees. Exhaling, bend the elbows into the modified chaturanga. Inhaling, come back up. Exhaling to child's pose. Keep stretching the arms forward. Keep thinking about extension. With each inhale, you extend the body in a deeper way. When you exhale, you release. Let everything release out so that you're ready to receive the next breath. Let's breathe like that a couple more times. And then you're going to come back to you're going to lower yourself onto your belly. So we're going to start first in Sphinx position. Now, Sphinx position means that you, on your forearms, you want to have your wrists separated evenly in alignment with the elbows in alignment with the shoulders. So here, as you hold in your pose, feel the stretch in your belly. Imagine you could drag yourself forward. Lift the chin, open the heart. And now as you exhale, you're going to curl and then inhale, coming back to the Sphinx position. Exhale, curling back. Inhale to Sphinx. Now you're going to place your hands by your lower ribs, elbows in, have your forehead on the floor to start. And then begin to press your hands to the floor, but don't straighten the elbows. And then inhale to cobra position. Breathe here. Exhaling slowly. Come down. Press to child's pose. Concentrate on the length of the spine. Stretching every fiber. Stay focused on what is happening to you right now. And then you're going to walk your forearms forward and position yourself back to the Sphinx. Inhale to Sphinx. Exhale, release down, bring your hands by your lower ribs. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, press back to Child's Pose. And we're going to lie down on your back. And you're going to need a block. The one block I told you should have. Okay. And you use the block on a medium height. Don't go to that really high place on the block. So either this way, and even if it's still too high for you, then have the block flat on the floor, okay? I'm going to demonstrate with the block on the mid height. So let's start first. You're on your back. You're going to lie down on your back. You have your block within reaching distance. You want to stretch your arms by your side as if, and see, can you brush the back of your ears with your fingers? Breathe, you're feeling, letting the spine fully release onto the floor. So feel the weight of your back resting on the floor. So right now, the only place where you feel a lot of weight, a lot of pressure is on your back. Maybe the back of your head. So now what we are going to do is that we're going to begin to press the feet on the floor. Notice how they change the feeling in your spine. So again, let's release. Just relaxing heavy on the floor. And then press the feet down and notice what happens. So do that one more time just to connect to that feeling. Okay, so push the floor away with your feet. And you want to lift when you do that. So your back is not resting on the floor in the same position. So let's come down again, relaxing, realign yourself, walk your fingers toward your heels again. Now you're going to take your block, and then you're going to press the feet on the floor, lift your hips, slide the block underneath your sacrum. Now, once it's there, rotate the triceps in so that your shoulders really are not on the floor. The back of your head is on the floor, the elbows are on the floor, but you're pressing your arms actively to lift the chest up, opening the chest. And now relax. Now, walk your feet in just a little bit. And I'm going to ask you to, as you press the feet down, lift off the block. Keep your knees from flaring out. If you know you have trouble with the knees, then place a block between your knees. And now slowly release back down to the block. So the block is there to catch you, and if you get tired, you can return to the block. So we can hold it maybe a little longer. So keep stretching the head of the shoulders away from your ears by sliding the shoulder blades on your back. You're pressing the elbows to the floor so that your shoulder blades come off the floor. And now begin to lift. So as you lift the hips off the block, your shoulder blades come back to the floor. And now release down. Let's again pressing the elbows down, get that lift in your chest. And then press the feet, lift up, let the shoulders release back down to the floor. And then return onto the block. So you're going to stretch. We're going to start with the left knee bent. So this is our part of the restorative back bend. You working on spine extension. So your right knee is in, and you're going to slowly extend the leg up to the ceiling. To maintain the alignment of your left knee. And as you flex the foot, so you're in the dorsal flexion, slowly begin to press your leg forward. Now you don't have to bring your leg to the floor. You want to reach forward to the front end of your mat. If you can come to the floor without bending the knee, then you do it. Otherwise, don't bend the knee. Keep the leg fully straight. So you may not go all the way down. And now slowly begin to bring the leg back up. Bending your knee, place the foot on the floor, realign into your bridge position. Now bring the left knee in, just let it drop there. Take your mind to your right leg, aligning the right knee with the hip, so don't let your knee go out, keep the knee in alignment. Slowly extend your left leg up, and then flexing your foot, begin to stretch the leg forward without bending the knee, and you go to a place where that's possible for you. If you can bring the foot to the floor, keep sliding your heel away from your sitting bones and really feel that extension here on the side body. Then slowly bring the leg back up. And bend the knee, place the foot back down on the floor. Let's pause here. Let's do the first side again. Bending the right knee in. Extend the leg up. Keep your left knee in alignment with the hip. Exhale, begin to stretch the leg forward. But don't go all the way down now. Just come part way, for those of you who went down. And then point the toes, bring the leg back up. You can mindfully work in the body without stress. Flexing the foot, lower the leg forward. Keep the left knee aligned with your hip. Pointing the toes, bring the leg back up. Let's do that one more time on the side. Feel the stretch in your calf as you flex the foot. As you point the toes, stretch the front of your ankle. Bend the knee. Place the foot back down on the floor. Always take the time to realign, maybe even readjust on your block if the block has moved. Now bring the left knee in. Stretch your leg up to the ceiling. So we're going to do this time again, not all the way down to the floor. Okay, you flex the foot, you lower the leg part way. Keep reaching forward the foot. Point the toes, bring the leg back up. Keep the right knee aligned with the hip. Let's do this again. Lower the leg forward. Bring the leg back up. Let's do this one more time. Bring the leg forward. And bring the leg back up. Bending your knee, bring the foot to the floor. Now you're going to lift off the block and remove the block from underneath your sitting bones and gently bring your spine back down to the floor. Take a few breaths here, experiencing your back, your spine. Really be present with where you are right this moment. I always think of doing restorative yoga. It's a meditation with movement. So you move, but meditate as you move. Now you're going to extend both legs on the floor. Extend the arms over your head for those of you who can. Reach back. Breathe here. Imagine you are standing with the arms over your head. So the same if you were standing with the arms over your head, some of you may have your arms a little wider. In fact, everybody begin to slide your arms out in a T formation. Keep pressing the sole of your feet toward the front edge of your mat. So you're not relaxing here. You imagine you are standing and you're reaching out with the arms. Feel the body open in this position. Now you're going to bend your knees and bring the knees into your chest. So hug the knees in. Keep letting your thighs press against your belly. So you're sort of rounding the lower back. And you may notice as you're rounding the lower back, you bring in the thoracic spine in a more concave position. So you move the shoulder blades toward each other as you round in your back. But then you can do the other way. You can fully expand the shoulder blades. So it's always good to play with your body like that and mindfully do it. Now you're going to, keeping your knees tucked in, you're going to curl all the way to your right. You're going to stretch your right arm straight out of the shoulder, take your left arm and curl all the way in, bringing your left palm on top of your right hand. So here you are in a fetal position. As you inhale, you're going to begin to extend, lift the left arm, extend the arm up to the ceiling, and then slowly bring your arm out to the floor. Now, the first one, you may not be able to touch the floor. Don't force it. Now exhale, roll all the way back to your right, bring your left arm over your right. Inhale, open up into the twist. Exhale to curl. Let's do that one more time. Inhale in the left arm up, bring it out to the side. And this time, hold the twist. Extend both arms away from each other. Keep the knees tucked in. And then slowly roll onto your back. Hug your knees. And then curl onto your left. Then you bring your right hand on top of your left. Your left arm is shooting straight out of the shoulder to the side. Your knees are tucked in. So begin as you inhale to extend the arm up to the ceiling. Keep reaching until you bring the arm out behind you. Notice the difference from side to side. Now exhaling, let's curl again to the right, to the left. Bring your palm to rest on the other palm. Inhaling. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath. So we're moving on the breath, but you take full breaths in between. Exhaling, curling to your left. Inhaling into the twist, going as far as you can. Now, if your arm are bothering you, you can always have a pillow underneath your arms. And some of you have done yoga enough to know that it's not a good idea to work to discomfort. And I'm not talking about discomfort that happens because of effort, but more discomfort that doesn't feel right. So if you feel any pinching feeling, or you have any sharp feeling, or numb and feel like it comes from deep within, you have to pull away. So just listen to your body. And you're going to exhale, coming back to your left. You're going to roll onto your back and give your knees a hug. You may notice you need to adjust yourself on your mat. Okay. Pausing there with just resting the spine on the floor. So now we are going to do a different twist. I mean, the position of the legs is going to be different. So you're going to stretch your left leg on the floor. Pause here. Again, remember this is restorative, so we want to be present with every movement we make. So pause and feel the energy in your left leg. Feel the connection of the left leg to the upper body. Now bring your right knee in without disturbing the left leg for now. Hold on to your knee with your left hand, extend your right arm out to the side, and then begin to turn, twisting to your left, and let the bottom leg turn as well. Imagine somebody's pulling on your right arm right now, making it hard for you to come into the twist. So this is what you have to do for yourself. You will reach out with the right arm to bring the right shoulder to the floor or closer to the floor. So there's that energy of the arm stretching out. Breathe and notice that maybe your breath may feel a little bit more tight, like you're in a tight space. That's what happens when you do twist. Then you're going to slowly roll back to the center. Stretch your right leg on the floor, and pause there, feeling both legs, observing the difference between the right and the left. Now you're going to bring your left knee in without disturbing the right leg. Hold on to your knee with your right hand, and then slowly begin to come into your twist. And slowly come back to the center. Place your feet on the floor and roll to your side. And come up to a seated position. So this is when I'm going to use my blanket. Okay. So here we're going to go into very passive movement. You're going to roll the blanket this way. So you try to make a ledge for your spine. Okay. And you're going to place the blanket this way on your mat. Okay. You should not need anything else. I think that should be fine, even for your neck. So the first opening that we're going to do is open the shoulder blades. So you want the edge of the blanket to be where the tip of your shoulder blades are. And you're going to want to release over the blanket. Let the arms rest by your side. Now start with bent knees. Scoot your tailbone forward toward the front edge of your mat so that you feel a little bit of an extension in your sacrum. So here you press, the back of your head is resting on the floor, the shoulders are reaching toward the floor. So you feel a wonderful opening in your chest. Now this is the breath in this position. Give your body a chance to release, and notice your sitting bones maybe be a little bit more heavy on the floor than they were before. If you feel this is happening to you, that's a good thing. And you may wish to extend the legs out the legs a little wider than your hips, not too much, just a little wider. But keep the legs active, slide those legs forward. So imagine you could bring the back of your knees to the floor. So you're pressing the length of the legs to the floor, you're reaching your heels forward, and you're releasing the upper body onto the block, onto the bolster or the blanket. Now let your arms relax out to the side. Now let your legs fully relax. And now surrender yourself to the opening in your chest. Breathe through your nose. So you take a deep breath in And you exhale as well to your nose. So try to keep your breath natural. The first breath, you may want to give it a little bit more intention, like taking a deep breath, but then you just want to let the breath relax. The body begins to melt into the floor. Let's take about 5 more breaths here. So normal breaths, being present as you inhale, being present as you exhale. If you have any thoughts that come in your head, you just want to let them go by focusing on the breath. So when you focus on the breath, thoughts may drop away. For this moment, you want to be at peace with your body, at peace with the space around you, untouched by outside forces. Let's take 1 more breath here. And now you're going to bend your knees. And what we're going to do is that you're going to turn onto your side, to your right, and the blanket doesn't move. You're going to drape your armpit, the right armpit, right over the mat, and have your legs as far in alignment as you can with the rest of you. So you can have the left hand on the floor for balance. If you want a little bit more of the toning as you holding this position, you can extend the arm by your side on your body. Let's take 5 breaths here. Don't control the breath, just let the breath happen, receiving the breath. Let's take 1 more breath on this side. And then let's just roll to lie down on your left. Same action. You have the blanket underneath the armpit. Both legs are extended straight out. And you can have 1 hand on the floor for balance. If you're feeling balanced, then you can definitely have your arm resting on top of your left leg, right leg. And you want to breathe in, be with the breath. We're going to take 5 breaths here. If it bothers your shoulder, I should have told you that the first time, you can always adjust, maybe not have the blanket underneath your armpit. You may just decide that doesn't feel good for me, and you can just lie down without the blanket. Let's just take 1 more breath here. Exhaling. Now you're going to roll to your side, and we are going to move the blanket underneath the lumbar spine, which means that your sitting bones are on the floor. Your legs are together. So in this position, you don't want to relax the legs. So it's going to catch the whole part of your lumbar. Now, with the legs straight, if it's too much for you, you can definitely bend the knees, adjust a little bit. So you may find this is really good to loosen up the muscles around the lumbar spine. So you may find some discomfort doing that at the beginning. Extend the arms over your head if you can, or have the arms out to the side. So press your sitting bones to the ground. If your knees are bent, press your feet to the floor so you can control how much pressure you're putting onto your lumbar. If that's really fine with you, then you could just extend both legs. But in this case, you don't want the legs to relax out. You want the legs to be in Tadasana. So it means you're standing on your legs. You're actively pressing your sitting bones to the floor, lifting the belly up, letting the shoulders rest. Let's take 5 breaths here. Just know that you're breathing. Concentrate on the position of your body, on the action in the body. Let's take one more deep breath here. And then slowly bend your knees. Then you're going to roll to your right. And we're going to keep the blanket where it is. Now your right side of your waist is going to be on the blanket. You're going to stretch. You can have either the right arm stretch out to the side, or you could have your arm stretch out. So either over your head this way, if it's okay with you, to get more of a stretch, or this way. It really doesn't matter. We're trying to massage the side of your waist. Okay? And just let your left hand rest on your right eye. So again, you know the 2 positions of the right arm, either out to the side or up. So don't work with discomfort here. If it hurts your shoulder in one position, then try to change to the other position. And then keep a memory of that so that when you do a similar restorative, you sort of remember what works for you and what doesn't work for you, so you can get into it faster. You got to let the body relax here. There's really no action. Be mindful of your breath. Notice your state of mind. Let the breath be there in the background. Be constant. We're going to take one more breath here. And then you're going to roll onto your belly. And the blanket now is going to be, I'm not there to see what you're doing, so I will try to be as precise as I can. You're going to place your forehead on your hands. And if when you do that, you feel this pressing into your stomach, then move a little bit forward of the blanket. So really have the blanket right where the navel is. And let your head rest on your hands. Now sometimes we can also feel some discomfort in this position because we can be tired, we can have some, who knows, inflammation in the organs, because human beings, we are prone to inflammations for one reason or another. So just let your belly release there. Even if you have discomfort, if it's in the wrong place, you're going to know it. But if the normal discomfort is totally fine, just let your breath flow. Again, focusing on the breath. And as you do that, you may feel that pulsing of the artery there, right around the belly button. Just notice that. And notice how your breath feels. Every time you change position, your breath feels different. Now you're going to take one more breath here, and then you're going to roll onto your left, and again, bring this left side of your waist right on the blanket, and you can stretch your right arm, your left arm straight up, or you can have the left arm out to the side. So sometime, which is very strange, because it's not very strange, I mean, we're human beings after all, sometime one side, the arm in this position feels better, but on the other side, the arm position feels better. So there is no rules. Okay, so you just choose the position of the arms that's good for you. Close your eyes. And just let your body fully surrender to the support. Breathing in and breathing out. So let's take about 5 more breaths. Being with your breath. Okay, it's not a precise science. It doesn't have to be just about 5 breaths. You inhaling, you exhaling. Being more and more present with the sensation of the breath. And now you're going to roll onto your side and move the blanket to the side, but don't change the fold. Keep the blanket folded just the way it is. But let's come to your hands and knees. Okay, again, bearing weight beneath our hands. And observe when you press your hands against the floor. Really push the floor away. How does it change the feeling in your arms? As if you just relax and you're sort of leaning into the weight as opposed to actively lifting away from the floor. These are sensations to bring awareness to. And now let's begin to inhale into the cow position, slight extension, and then as you exhale, initiate from the tailbone, dropping the tailbone, rounding your back, letting the head drop. And inhaling. And exhaling. Let's inhale. Exhale. Let's do this one more time. Inhaling. Now walk your hands a little bit more forward. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Hold downward facing dog. Notice the difference in your dog pose. Now, with your hands firmly to the floor. And then come to your knees to child's pose. And then push away from the floor. Let's take a blanket again. Make it a little shorter for this one. Okay. So you turn it. It doesn't have to be as long as it was before. You want it to be bigger. So you're going to roll it very tight. So you're creating a bolster for yourself. Okay? So you are going to sit on the blanket this way. Okay? And then you're going to slowly go back and then stretch your legs up. So try to keep the blanket underneath your sitting bones. Start with the arms extended over your head. And then let the arms rest by your side. So make sure that the bolster, if you need to come down and adjust, you want to make sure that the bolster is right underneath your sacrum. So now see, can you relax? Let's begin. Before we relax, lift the thoracic spine and slide the shoulder blades under, and then let the arms rest by your side. Let your legs relax. Surrender to your support. You will feel a mild traction in your back around the lumbar spine. That should feel good. And now you want to be present with the breath. And when you're present with the breath, it doesn't mean that, oh, I just have to know when I'm inhaling and when I'm exhaling. It means that you are connected to what the breath brings to you. How does it feel to breathe? When you inhale, how does it feel? What is happening in my body to make that happen? Explore also as you exhale, noticing the sense of release. You know, the more you can bring awareness to your breath, the more the breath can become a tool to help you cope with various states of mind. So we know that if you bring awareness to the breath and decide to calm the breath, so you slowly inhaling, slowly exhaling. And notice as you listen to the breath, not this cessation, probably places you don't think about. For example, how does it feel in your legs? How does the breath feel in your back? How does the breath feel in the front body? Observing the journey of the breath from the pubic bone all the way up to the collarbone, and from the collarbone all the way to the pubic bone. Begin to feel that muscle, the diaphragm. How does that muscle function? What happens when you inhale? How does it feel? And then what happens when you exhale? Think of the diaphragm a little bit like a tight band. You know, those bands that we use to create resistance. You see, the diaphragm has resistance, but it needs to expand to enable the lungs to fill with the breath. And it needs to return to its shape. It may contract to exhale the air out of our lungs. So think of that bend that you press it out, you stretch it, and then you release, it goes back to this natural shape. So you can, that works for you. You could think of the diaphragm this way, the job of the diaphragm, the nature of the diaphragm. Just take about 5 more breaths here. Let the breath become so soft that it's hard to notice it. As the body fully relaxes, the breath becomes very quiet. Now you're going to bend your knees and just let the thighs rest against your belly. You don't have to force it, but you can definitely hug the knees in. Don't keep your knees together. Separate your knees out so that you feel the spreading of the sitting bones, the spreading of the sacrum. You may get a sense of a nurturing feeling as you're hugging your knees in. And now slowly just bring your feet to the floor. You can roll to your side, but slide the blanket from underneath your sitting bones. And you're going to use we're going to lie down for Shavasana. The blanket, you can have the blanket underneath your knees as you lie down. You can have the blanket higher up on your thighs, or you can just lie down flat without any props at all. So you start with your knees bent and lower yourself gently all the way down. Stretch your legs out and keep them wider than your hips. Now press your elbows down to the floor, lift your thoracic spine, slide the shoulder blades on your back, and then release. Let your arms rest by your side. Close your eyes. Shavasana. Let's return to the breath. So I wanted to read something to you as you lie in Shavasana, recline meditation. Feel the breath move gently. Know when you are breathing in. Know when you are breathing out. So I want to read a quote from my teacher's teacher, meditation teacher. His name was Thich Nhat Hanh. I'm probably not pronouncing that very good, but this is a quote from his teaching. As soon as there is stopping, there is happiness, there is peace. When we stop like that, it looks as if nothing is happening, but in fact, everything is happening. You are deeply established in the present moment, and you touch your cosmic body. You touch eternity. There is no more restlessness, no more seeking. Take those words as they apply to you, as inspiration. Notice how just the sound of words or the sound of music, if you are playing music right now, how it affects your mind, how it affects your body. And let your breath become quiet. Feel the muscles in your face begin to soften. Feel the space between your eyebrows as the skin relaxes toward the hairline. And if you lost it, bring your attention back to the breath happening, listening. Notice the uniqueness of each breath. You feel the need to take a deep breath. You feel the need to deeply exhale. And then you take soft breaths in between. You know, each breath is always unique. You can think maybe of the breath as of the air as the ocean, and the breath itself as the waves. The calm of the oceans and the rhythm of the waves. And there is peace in the letting go. You can stay here, letting your own silence, your own space nurture you. Thank you for being here, for watching this video. I really appreciate the interest. We all do. We feel connected. Namaste.